Today is a little bit of a different video than you're used to seeing on this channel. Today I'm going to talk about car styling and car design, but specifically I'm going to talk about the Volvo V60 and why it is quite simply the best looking wagon ever made. Let me explain. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for watching. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Either way, I really hope that you guys enjoy this new type of video that I wanted to make for you. I really just needed a week off from the V70R and all the problems it's been giving me, so bear with me for a minute. I've been wanting to make this video for about a year now. If you don't know or haven't followed this channel for the last year and a half, I made a video back in April of 2018 or March of 2018 with T. John Mayer. He was the chief design lead with the new Volvo V60. And we did that at the New York International Auto Show. And if you don't know that video, you can click the card right above me to watch that video where we went over the car and kind of dove deeper into how a designer thinks and feels out a new car when they're actually designing and trying to bring it to market. Since that day, I've been sort of obsessed internally with how the new V60 looks because, as I said, I believe that it is the best looking wagon ever made in the entire car industry. And that's a big claim. But I wanted to explain why I believe that today. Mainly, I wanted to talk about it because I'm a huge wagon fan. If you don't know this channel, I have a Volvo V70R, and that is my personal project car. I've been through two of them, and I believe the V70R is one of the top 5 best looking wagons of all time. They're very affordable, they're super fun, they sound amazing with the red exhaust, and Volvo has a history of really cool and beautiful wagons. So I wanted to talk about the V60 today, mainly because I'm sort of a wagon aficionado now, and I really love them, and the V60 to me is the pinnacle of wagon life currently. I wanted to talk to you today about this because I believe Volvo's new design language is one of, if not the best in the entire industry from a design standpoint. Because of this bold new design language, the V60 really sort of brought everything to the zenith of the Volvo design language. And to me, it's not just the best wagon on sale today, it's the best wagon ever, from an aesthetics perspective. Now, this may be an unpopular opinion because how can you say that a brand new car is the best looking wagon ever made? We have tons of amazing looking wagons, such as the Volvo 122 Amazon, the new Volvo V90, the Audi RS6 Avant, my aforementioned Volvo V70R, the BMW E34 M5 Touring, the Mercedes E63 AMG Wagon, and the Subaru Legacy GT Wagon. These are all beautiful cars, they're well designed, and they're iconic in their own way. There's an honorable mention, of course, to the Volvo 240, and while it's not a looker, it's arguably the best wagon ever made in an overall perspective because of the cult status following and because of the longevity and how legendary that brick shape really is. But for the purpose of this video, we are strictly speaking about aesthetics, so the 240 kind of goes out the window, even though I'm kind of a fan of them. They're not really the most beautiful cars on the road. Sorry, Volvo guys. We have a ton of videos on YouTube and on the internet about how a car performs and how a car drives, and those are awesome, and I love watching them and I love making them. We have a ton of OEM press car reviews that you can watch in the card above me as well, but there are not a ton of videos about aesthetics and design and style, so I thought I'd make one, especially about how awesome the new V60 is. Before I get started, I wanted to go over a few technical specs of the Volvo V60 so we get a baseline of what this car actually is. There are 4 trim levels to the V60, which include the Momentum, the Inscription, the R design for the wagon, and a cross-country variant for added off-road and lifted performance. The engines include, for the T5 trim, that gets a 250 horsepower, 258 foot-pound of torque, turbocharged engine, and the T6 trim levels get a 316 horsepower, 295 foot-pound of torque variant, which is turbocharged and supercharged. Prices can range from the Momentum at $38,900 base, to the R design, which is $43,900 base, and the Inscription model, which is a $49,400 base price, and those will inflate with different options and packages. So let's get into why this car looks so good, which is the whole purpose of this video and why I'm making this outrageous and bold claim. The V60 is designed sort of to invoke the same stance as an athlete. It's supposed to be this muscular, lean, ready to pounce at a moment's notice sort of shape to it. And that is noticeable with how it's sculpted, and I'll get to that in a minute. This athletic stance is really shown in the three hero parts of the car: front on, side profile, and rear facing. The most noticeable aspect of this part of the car is actually the wheels, the wheel arches, and how the car is stanced. And yes, stance means a lot more than just slammed, spacers, camber. That's stance nation. A car's stance is how it sits on the road. It's how it drives. There's a lot more to stance than just, you know, getting scene points. It's part of design and should be part of how a car is designed in full. So what Volvo did was make this car stance very, not aggressive, but more sporty than a typical wagon would normally look. This is most noticed with the wheels. They're pushed out more towards the edge of the actual car, more towards where the wheel arches sort of end, where the body on the side of the body is. Instead of having the wheels tucked in, where you see that on a lot of commuter cars with smaller wheels and with bigger sidewall tires, and they're kind of tucked into the body, where if this is the body, the wheels kind of sit back this way. The wheels are pushed out to be more flush with the body. That gives the car a bigger aggressive stance. It makes it seem wider. It seems like it makes it more planted, a little bit lower to the ground, and just gives it an overall more sporty look. This isn't as aggressive as you'd find with an aftermarket option, obviously. What you could do with an aftermarket option is put spacers on it, get the wheels out even further, and make it look really, really planted and kind of like ready to pounce even further. But Volvo did this from factory, so you wouldn't have to do that. And I think they did it very, very well. After the stance, the next part of what makes this car, the V60, look so good is how it's sculpted. To add to this athletic nature, Volvo added a ton of what I call, and I'm not sure if this is an industry term or not, probably isn't, body creases. Now, what I mean by body creases is where the metal kind of folds and makes a point or creates a wave in it somehow. And let me explain what I mean by that. It basically means that on the hood, you can see that there is a rounded part on top and then a crease, and it just falls off. That's what I mean by a body crease. It's best seen on the hood, as I just described, but you can also see it on the side and the rear quarter panels to make it that much more sporty, athletic, and ready to go. Another body crease which makes the Volvo V60 look so, so good is right above the wheel arches themselves. When you get a lot of these crossovers today, you see kind of a plastic piece that goes around the wheel arches just before it hits the actual metal of the body. That is to make the crossover look like it's riding a lot higher. Volvo's done a similar thing here with another body crease. It almost looks like they've given it sort of a flared fender, when in reality they haven't. They've added a body crease over the wheel arch to make it look even more stanced or more aggressive. And I think that that's a really nice attention to detail and a really nice point that makes this car look a little bit more unique than the competition and a little bit better. The side profile shows another body sculpting tactic that Volvo has used to make it look sportier and look really, really unique and cool. It has a declining roof. What I mean by that is at the front of the roof, you have a bit of a higher point and it drops off as you go towards the rear. Some people refer to it as a raked roof. I'm not sure if that's a correct term. I don't think it is, but let's just say it is. The raked roof of the Volvo V60 makes it look like it has a inverted wedge shape, and that is really neat and really unique and something you don't see a lot of. You see a lot of rounded off sort of roofs in wagons. You never see sort of a sharp decline and then the rounded off part. That's really cool, and that actually gave Volvo a lot more space in the trunk. Let me explain that. What this did is this actually increased the trunk cargo volume by 100 liters, or just over 3.5 cubic feet. With only a 4-inch lengthening in the wheelbase and essentially the same footprint as the outgoing Volvo V60, it's pretty much the same length. That's no small feat. That's a really, really ingenious way to package the car in almost the same sort of dimensions. The last part of the exterior that makes this car so beautiful is the front end. It has the, now I think becoming iconic, Thor's hammer daytime running lamp, or DRL, and it just makes you want to like look at it. It's just beautifully sculpted. Like I said before, the hood has those creases. It's sort of muscular looking, but not bodybuilder type muscular looking. It's more lean, almost like a distance runner as opposed to a sprinter, which is really, really beautiful. Not a lot of cars do that. You see a lot of these hoods with crazy bulges, tons of roof cuts, and it looks good on those cars in some applications, but for the Volvo V60, this just looks luxurious and approachable and beautiful, and I love that about this design. You have this beautiful front grille, which has vertical silver pieces surrounded by black glossy trim, and of course the Volvo badge with the iconic diagonal line going right through it. It's just a beautifully packaged front end, and it looks so, so good, and I wish that I would see more of these on the road, because every time I do see one, I freak out and I look at it and I'm just like, oh man, it looks even better in person than the last time I saw it. So yes, the front end is sort of the piece de resistance of this entire car. Now at the beginning of the video, I said design and styling of the V60, and those are the two aspects that really make the V60 the best looking wagon of all time. The lines of design and styling are very blurred in life, especially in the car world. Now, to kind of give you a definition of what styling is versus design, styling is pure aesthetics. It's beauty, it's more of what is going to catch your eye and what you think is going to be very beautiful. Design is on another level. It is styling with a purpose. So you get beauty, but you also get functionality. And I give you this definition because as you go into the interior of the V60, it's tough to see where design ends and styling begins, because everything seems to work in sort of this seamless and effortless manner. It's a place where you want to stay and enjoy. As the exterior of the V60 was designed to be eye-catching, as we've known and noted, the interior is more about catching the driver's eye. It's made around the driver's eye. Now let me explain that just a little bit. So you may see functional touches like a good driving position, more room in the rear seats. That's the function aspect of this design and style. However, it's also offset with beautiful wood inlays, a beautiful center screen that's well integrated into the entire center stack, chrome trim that offsets the wood so that you see exactly what kind of beauty you're getting from an aesthetics point, but it's also wrapped completely around the air vents, so there's that functional part of the style and the design as well. This all enhances not only the luxury experience, the sport experience too, and just the overall experience of driving and being in this car. And everything kind of just works together. If you look all the way around the interior of this car, there's no breaks. It's just one seamless line from the entire 180 and 360 if you can have your head spin around Exorcist style. But you look at it and it just doesn't break from the front driver's door all the way to the passenger side. It's just all seamless and really, really well integrated. And of course, what design on a car these days would be complete without some Easter eggs? On this car, there aren't a ton actually, but there's two that I want to mention. There's a really cool Volvo one in the headlight right next to the Thor's hammer, which I think is very, very neat. But one piece of design that I think is really, really cool, and this was mentioned by T. John Mayer in the video last year, was the rear sensors are actually integrated into the reflectors in the back so that you can barely even notice them. And that is smart design and really good attention to detail, because so many cars these days, you look at the front and rear of these cars and they have all these little holes that you can definitely tell are sensors all over the place. This hides it in a really smart way, and that just enhances the thought process behind this even more and shows that Volvo's bringing their thought to another level. If you take all of these characteristics and you put them all together, what you get is something that ladders up to a beautiful looking car in a way that's different than everyone else. It's unique, it's beautiful, it's approachable, and exciting all at once. And I think that those are the key characteristics to really make a good wagon and a great wagon and the perfect wagon these days from an aesthetic perspective. That's why the V60 is the best looking wagon ever made. It hits every single point perfectly. The other wagons that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, they're beautiful in their own right. They do have redeeming qualities. Don't think I'm saying that they're ugly by any stretch of the imagination. They're not. The E63 AMG I think is a gorgeous car, but the interior to me falls a little flat. The Audi RS6, the exterior, while cool looking, is a little bit cold and calculated and a little bit too mathematical for me. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of emotion in it. And the other ones I mentioned, while really cool, even the V90, the V90 is more modern, but the older ones that I mentioned, the V70R, the M5 Touring, the Amazon, they're just a little dated. And while they're beautiful cars for their time, I don't think that they're the best of all time. I think the V60 is just better looking overall than every one of them. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it sparked some debate. This is a very different video than I'm used to making, but I thought I'd talk to you guys and have an actual conversation about something that I've really been thinking about for literally a year. So I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I want to hear what you think. Do you think the V60 is the best ever? Do you think it's the V90 from Volvo? Do you think it's an older version like the Amazon? Do you think it's a completely different other car company? I want to hear it. Give me a bunch of comments down below and tell me why you think they're beautiful and why you think they're better, or why you think the V60 is just as good as I've described. I want details, guys. I want details. I don't want to hear just the Merc is better, the BMW is better. I want to hear why. Let me hear it. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and then also hitting the bell icon to turn notifications on so you know exactly when we publish a new video every week, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to support us so we can make more videos for you like this and like our Project Volvo cars, please go to the link in the description below and support us on Patreon. Or you can go to patreon.com/shiftinglanes and donate. Once we get to the $100 tier, we're going to add actual tiers for you guys for bonuses and different things like that. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Shifting Lanes, and you can follow me on social media at RealGregsonM. If you want to get in contact with us for any reason, our email is contact@shiftinglanes.com, and yes, we read them all. So if we haven't responded to you just yet, don't worry, we will. We get tons of emails every day, and we will definitely get back to you as soon as we can. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time. See ya.